Welcome, everybody, to Miami and the World Baseball Classic, presented by Capital One on Fox. 3 semifinal slots are filled, and the final one is up for grabs as Shohei Ohtani, the 4-time MVP in the major leagues, his Los Angeles Dodger teammate, last year's World Series MVP Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and the Japanese reigning world champs take on a stacked Venezuela lineup with a chance to head to the Final Four of the WBC. So we welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Adam Amin, the World Series champion, A.J. Pierzynski, Tom Verducci is with us as well. We look at this Venezuela lineup. They come out of a very difficult pool. They just fall to the Dominican Republic in what was essentially a pool championship game. This is a dangerous, very impressive lineup for Venezuela.
Well, it all starts and ends with the Venezuelan lineup. You have Ronald Acuna, Luis Arraez, Gino Suarez. You have Salvador Perez in this lineup hitting 8th, who's been a perennial all-star and probably going to the Hall of Fame. This lineup does it. They hit for power. They take extra bases. They can steal bases. And they are exciting as it gets. If they get ahead early in this game, Adam, and this crowd behind us gets into it, it is going to be tough to slow them down.
We know what the Japanese are capable of. The reigning WBC champions have won 11 straight games in the WBC. They went 4-0 in pool play in the first 3 games where Shohei Ohtani played. He impressed, of course.
What is this, a surprise?
No.
Shohei doing something special on a huge stage. It seems like what he does. But the other thing about this lineup is they're deep also. It's not the household names. Yes, you have Ohtani at the top. You have Akamoto, who's come over to the Blue Jays. You have Murakami, who's come over to the White Sox. You have Yoshida with the Red Sox. But the other guys can do some special things too. So that's just because the Venezuela lineup is so stacked, maybe bigger names, this Japan lineup is also loaded.
And that's why this pitching matchup, worthy of a Major League Baseball playoff series, is featured tonight as Ranger Suarez, one of the great playoff pitchers of this decade, squares off with last year's World Series MVP.
Might be one of the best pitching matchups you'll see in the WBC with Yamamoto and Ranger Suarez. 2 big game pitchers, 2 guys who know how to slow their heartbeat. This is the matchup you want with these lineups versus these pitchers. I can't wait.
Dominican Republic, the United States, Italy for the first time, and 1 remaining semifinal slot is up for grabs as these 2 countries square off in the WBC for the very first time. It's coming up next.
Tonight in Miami, 2 of the world's great baseball powers collide. Japan and Venezuela, with a trip to the semifinals on the line. For Japan, the reigning champions arrive with the game's biggest star, the incomparable Shohei Ohtani.
Gone! One-of-a-kind player! He is not human!
But across the diamond, Venezuela answers with a supernova of their own. A loaded roster led by the dynamic Ronald Acuna Jr.
Back and well gone. Another home run for Ronald Acuna Jr.
It's a quarterfinal clash of the Titans in the latest chapter of the World Baseball Classic.
In what has been a fabulous week plus of baseball, a wonderful WBC, and a great matchup with 1 semifinal spot up for grabs. Venezuela and Japan, and it'll be Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the bump for the Japanese. Down to the field, and Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks, Adam. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is one of the best big-game pitchers in the world. That's not hyperbole. That is proven fact across 3 countries and 2 continents. Tonight marks the 6th time since 2023 that Yamamoto will take the ball with his team facing elimination, whether in Japan, the WBC, or MLB. In the previous 5, Yamamoto is 5-0 with a 1.38 ERA. But if there is a flaw in his game, it may be batting 5th in the Venezuelan lineup. Ezequiel Tovar is 7 for 10 with 2 home runs against Yamamoto. The most hits and most home runs by anyone against one of the best pitchers in the world. Adam.
Only he and Manny Machado have multiple home runs against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yamamoto, who had the fabulous finish complete game in Game 2 of the World Series. Comes back in Game 6. 6 excellent innings in a victory. And then the next night, the final 2 2/3 in that legendary Game 7.
First pitcher to win 3 games in a World Series since Randy Johnson. Here's his usage. 4-seam fastball. The splitter is unhittable when he's throwing it close. The curveball he drops in for a strike. The other pitches he uses to get ahead and put batters away. The thing about Yamamoto, if you're Venezuela, you have to make a decision. Do you try to jump him early and chase him that way and be aggressive? Because if you fall behind and he's throwing strikes early, you're done because he punches you out with the weapons. Or do you try to be patient and pitch count him out?
And at the very top of the Venezuelan lineup is somebody who can jump on the first pitch, as he already has done in this WBC. It's Ronald Acuna Jr., part of a stacked Venezuelan lineup.
Acuna will get the first pitch if Yamamoto lays one in there for him. But this rest of this lineup, Garcia, Arise, Suarez, Tovar, this is a deep, dangerous lineup.
For Omar Lopez, who is the 2023 manager for the Venezuelan national team, which fell to the United States in the quarterfinals. He is the bench coach for the Houston Astros. And they are looking for their first semifinal appearance in 17 years. And it'll be Ronald Acuna Jr. starting it off. Boy, he and Ohtani, a couple of leadoff guys at the top of these orders. Think about that as you see the stars abound in Miami tonight. Very much a partisan crowd in favor of the Latin American country in Venezuela, but plenty of Japanese fans in the building. Away we go as Yamamoto deals a curveball to start the night. The quarterfinals in Miami are underway between these two countries meeting for the first time. There's a 1-0. And Acuna puts a charge into one. Deep right center field. And what a way to start for Acuna. He's done it again. Exactly what we talked about, exactly what Omar Lopez talked about when we chatted with him in the pregame, as Michael Garcia fouls one back.
Well, took it to the second pitch, though.
Yeah, not the first one.
You want to know about respect for Ronald Acuna Jr.? Yamamoto has a great fastball, 97, 98. First pitch curveball, throws it for a ball. Second pitch fastball deposited to right center in Lone Depot, which is not easy.
Garcia skies one on the infield to the left side. It will be Okamoto, newly acquired now Toronto Blue Jay.
Trying to go in, he just doesn't get it there, and that's not a terrible pitch, but Acuna Jr. is so strong, stays inside of it, just destroys this ball to right center. Most right-handed hitters, Adam, cannot hit a ball like that to right center, and then if you see the Venezuelan bench and the reaction, electric.
Now here's Luis Arise, who has shown some power in this WBC. He'll take a strike on the corner and a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. A 2-home-run game against Israel earlier in this tournament. A rare multi-homer game for the 3-time batting champion in Major League Baseball. Splitter in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Second home run of the tournament for Ronald Acuna Jr. Jumping on Yamamoto early. Ball and a strike on Arise, who fouls it away. Arise, between the WBC and Major League Baseball, has 3 career multi-home run games. They've all come in this ballpark. Remember, a former Miami Marlin who loved hitting in this park. He's done it twice in the WBC, including in pool play. He's only hit 36 homers in his major league career. 1-2 pitch is in the dirt.
This is where the Luis Arraez at bats you feel like starts. Once he gets to 2 strikes, he's so hard to get to swing and miss. He's so hard to strike out. Yamamoto's going to have to be careful because some reason in the WBC, like Omar Lopez, their manager, said, he steps it up when he has Venezuela on the chest with the power.
Waits for a 2-2, and that one came close to clipping him. And runs the count full. For those who didn't watch pool play, there is a pitch clock. There is replay. There are pitch limits as well. The pitch limit from pool play to the quarterfinals increases from 65 to 80. Arraez bounces one foul. We are expecting, though, both pitchers to still be around the 65 pitch area max in this quarterfinal contest. In the semifinals and finals, it goes up to 95.
Every one of these foul balls counts, though. It just is quicker and quicker to get Yamamoto out and get to the bullpen.
This will be the 7th pitch to Arraez. Another 3-2. He fouls another one away. You see the Japanese manager, that is Hirokazu Ibata, a former shortstop for Team Japan, played in the WBC 13 years ago. He remembers a semifinal loss to Puerto Rico. 3-2 pitch, and Arraez skies it again. Backing up is the shortstop Genda, and he's got it for the second out. After the Acuna home run, Garcia and Arraez retired.
Can't get enough of watching that swing on that pitch. That ball's middle in-ish, Adam, and he crushes that ball to right center. That's what makes people just different. You see certain people, and I played Major League Baseball for a long time, even Yamamoto nods his head to him. Guys shouldn't be able to do that.
Suarez takes a strike. A high one at that, and Suarez did not appreciate that call on the high strike from Major League umpire Chris Siegel. Dan Iasonia, the crew chief, at first. Michael Tibibijo and Tim Meyer at second and third from Colombia and Germany, respectively. On the ground to third is grabbed by Okamoto. Rest of the side retired in order, but it was Ronald Acuna Jr. getting things started and staking Ranger Suarez to a lead in his second WBC, hoping to get Venezuela somewhere it hasn't been in 17 years. Third most runs in pool play belong to Japan, 34 of them in their 4-0 sweep of Pool D. Some power, to say the least, in the top 3 of Ohtani, Sato, and Seiya Suzuki of the Chicago Cubs. Suarez faces Ohtani, lefty on lefty. And Ohtani will take a strike from a great big game pitcher in Ranger Suarez. Ohtani did not play in the finale against Czechia. He is 5 for 9 with a couple of homers, including a grand slam against Chinese Taipei. To the breaking ball, and it evens the count at a ball and a strike for Ranger.
Ranger Suarez, that's the numbers with the Phillies. He signed a big free agent deal with the Red Sox this offseason to fit into their rotation nicely. Here's his repertoire. Changeup is a key for him. He sinks the ball excellent. The changeup and the cutter, can he get those over the plate? Can he make these Japanese hitters do what they haven't done? And that's chase out of the strike zone.
2-1 pitch. Ohtani golfs it into right field. And the leadoff men have made an impact, to say the least. We're tied. An electric start in Miami. Here's Teruaki Sato.
Shohei Ohtani says, Ronald Acuna, I see what you did there, and I'm going to one-up you. I got 3 MVPs. You only have 1. What a start. Are you kidding me, Adam?
That is unreal. Sato fouls it off his leg.
And that might be the most emotion I've ever seen out of Shohei Ohtani on a home run. Breaking ball. Watch this pimp job. Calm down. Calm down. I'm here. Wow. There are no words how good that guy is.
You could not have asked for a cooler start in this game.
What did Omar Lopez, the Venezuelan manager, say? We're not going to let Ohtani beat us. Well, it's hard to do that if they're leading off the game.
Called strike 3. Well-placed sinker by Suarez. Sato doesn't like the call, and there's one down. I can't get over this start. This is just so cool. So much on the line, into the knockout stages, and you get two of the most important players in this game both doing their jobs in the leadoff spot. Here's Suzuki. I'll take ball 1 inside. Suzuki, a healthy season for the Cubs last year. That was a big deal. 150 plus games as Salvador Perez talks with Ranger Suarez, making sure they're on the same page.
Wow. What a swing. What a bat flip. Everybody calm down. Shohei's in the house. And then the trot. And there's a happy camper out there in right field when they catch this ball.
Suzuki back in. 32 homers for the Cubs last year. Suarez deals, and a breaking ball is lined foul.
By the way, Adam, we've done 3 games, you and I, in this WBC. We have 4 leadoff
That's
homers
right.
in these 3 games.
Lucas Ramirez, Aaron Judge, Acuna, Ohtani. Suarez deals low on that changeup. I think we have 5 going. Eaton as well for Great Britain.
Eaton, Ramirez, and then the 2 tonight. 4 in 3 games is pretty
that's
good.
Right, yeah.
And Aaron Judge was the second hitter.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Second hitter when he didn't lead that off.
Because he wasn't, only because he wasn't leading off that night.
Yeah, we've seen some first inning aggressiveness. I think that goes back to the point that you made, though. You're trying to jump on these high-level pitchers as early as you possibly can without getting too deep into a count. A 3-1 pitch to Suzuki is fouled back, especially considering the pitch limits and how important it is to get ahead. Suarez knew it, too.
That look tells it all as a pitcher. He didn't even want to turn around and look, but he did give the courtesy glance. And I'm telling you, that is the most emotion I think I've ever seen out of Shohei and the whole Japanese team. They jumped over the railing, were on the field.
Suzuki takes that changeup, such an important pitch for Suarez, and it's ball 4. Man aboard with 1 out for Japan. So here is Masataka Yoshida of the Boston Red Sox into his 4th season. And another lefty in this lineup takes a strike on the inner corner. There are 5 lefties in the starting lineup and 4 on the bench available for Japan. Yoshida's got a couple of home runs in the tournament against Korea and Australia. He bounces one up the line foul, and it's 0-2. Had a monster WBC 3 years ago and has picked up right where he left off. He drove in 13 in 2023 en route to the Japanese, winning their 3rd WBC title. Inside on a slider, it's 1-2. This is the 6th WBC going back to 2006.
We talked about Luis Arraez and what he does when he puts on the Venezuela uniform. Yoshida is that guy for Japan. Talked to Alex Cora yesterday, and he said
Goes down swinging here.
We need him to pretend like he's wearing the Japanese uniform when he puts the Red Sox one back on. That's how good he's been in the WBC.
Only averaged about 19 homers a year in the big leagues, but yeah, these emotions, these heightened stakes seem to lift these guys up a little bit as this tournament goes.
Nasty slider there from Ranger Suarez. Drops down a little bit, gets a little more horizontal action on that slider. You see Yoshida way out in front.
Kazuma Okamoto is on a 4-year deal with Toronto. He's going to join the Blue Jays this year after 11 years with the Yomiuri Giants. Okamoto will take a nice curveball, a backdoor breaking ball for a strike. This is a power hitter who dealt with an elbow injury last year and still had an OPS over 1,000. Major power hitter in the middle of this lineup. There goes the runner, pitches down and away, throw down to second base, not in time. Now, immediately, Ezequiel Tovar wants a review. He was pointing at Omar Lopez as Suzuki went sliding into second and is a little bit slow to get back to his feet after he slid in hard to the bag.
Goes first move, gets a great jump, and an unbelievable throw by Salvador Perez. Now, the thing is, if Tovar stays on him, he's obviously going to be out. And the last thing on earth we want to see is somebody hurt. But what a jump and a better throw. I think he's out, but if Tovar stays with him, he's clearly out. He slid past the base. This is the angle. We kind of checked up. He's out. Rough slide there for Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah, he banged into the ground prior to getting to the base, and he is being helped off the field. As you said, A.J., that tag looked like it was on the rib of Suzuki prior to him reaching the bag and eventually sliding past it. This is a concern now for Team Japan.
And he's playing center field for him.
Yeah. We get the review. Sure enough, Perez cuts down Seiya Suzuki, and that ends the first. An electric first inning. Ronald Acuna Jr. dice adios. Meanwhile, Shohei Ohtani said sayonara. Interesting way for the leadoff men to say hello in this WBC quarterfinal. We're tied at 1 to the second. Yoshinobu Yamamoto back on the bump, giving up the leadoff home run to Acuna. His Dodgers teammate Ohtani picks him up to tie it with a solo shot of his own. The concern right now, though, for Team Japan is who's going to play center field if Seiya Suzuki can't go. They don't have a center fielder out there right now, so Hirokazu Ibata is going to have to make a very early change in this game. Suzuki going headfirst into second base, trying to steal the bag. Gets thrown out by Sal Perez and seemingly got hurt in the process. So it looks like we'll see Shota Morishita, 25-year-old, who will get the opportunity now in center field. A very important part of this Japanese defense. They have a very deep bench. He's got a power bat as well. You'd obviously love to have Suzuki out there, but this is a deep Japanese team, as A.J. talked about in the open.
I know they weren't going to play without a center fielder. It just took them a little longer, Adam, to figure out who it was going to be.
Exactly. You heard Tom Verducci talk about Ezequiel Tovar and the excellent numbers he's put together against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He climbs in to lead off the Venezuelan second. He'll take a strike down the pipe on a slider.
Those numbers make no sense. They just don't make any sense. As good as Yamamoto is, you think no one would have numbers like that against him.
And Tovar with a charge into one to center, and this one is off the base of the wall. Tovar stays hot. That's why he's in the lineup. His numbers against Yamamoto, and he goes after the first one he sees and feels good about. Saw one right down the pipe on the slider and then drills this to center.
This is why he's in the lineup. You said it, Adam. And sometimes the numbers don't make sense. You just see somebody really well. After the first pitch slider, he gets a fastball out over the plate and just misses his third homer off Yamamoto. And new center fielder, by the way, run back to the wall and get this ball. Get loose. I hope you're loose.
And Morishita was immediately tested and sent back to the base of the fence. A man in scoring position here in the second for Gleyber Torres, the All-Star with the Tigers.
This game has all the makings for a classic, Adam. I know we're only in the second inning. Both these teams are on it. They're locked in.
Tovar dancing, and Torres takes a close one for ball 2.
One thing Gleyber Torres will not do, if you've watched his career in the big leagues, he doesn't chase a whole lot. He is one of the hardest guys to get to chase out of the zone. He will take his walk and he will wait you out.
He's ahead in the count 2-0 and checks his swing. It's a cutter down the middle for a strike. Second WBC for Gleyber Torres, now 29 years of age. The catcher is a two-time Golden Glove winner in the Pacific League. It is Wakatsuki behind the plate for Yamamoto. Torres takes another one, so he's looked at all 4, and it's 2-2. Yamamoto going into his 3rd season in Major League Baseball with the Dodgers. A storied Japanese baseball career prior to Major League Baseball. 2-2 pitch to Torres. Hit hard to left field. Yoshida turns around, watches it go off the top of the fence. That'll score a run, and Venezuela regains the lead on an RBI double from Torres. He waited it out. A.J. waited for his pitch.
And then he got a mistake. This was a mistake. It was a splitter that was up and in, not where Yamamoto wanted it, and he misses a home run by inches. The fans behind the left field wall were hoping it would get up, but these guys ain't messing around, Adam. They are here swinging.
Already 3 extra base hits for the Venezuelans. Still nobody out. Back-to-back doubles to start the inning. And a breaking ball drops in on Wilyer Abreu, another Boston Red Sox. Typically the left fielder for the Red Sox. His Red Sox teammate, Yoshida, is currently playing that spot for the Japanese. Takes a big cut of that diving splitter.
That's the first splitter that Yamamoto has thrown. That is the typical Yamamoto split finger that we have seen with him with the Dodgers. First one that was down, first one that dove away from the lefty, and the first real swing and miss he's gotten off that pitch.
Opponents last season hit just 132, a paltry number against that excellent splitter. Abreu takes it just off the plate, 1-2. That was a fastball. Yamamoto's splitter, four-seamer, and curveball saw opponents hit under 200. So you know Miguel Cabrera, one of the hitting coaches for Venezuela, is trying to keep his guys sharp against it. Bouncing ball, right side, and foul.
How about that as your hitting coach, Miguel Cabrera? First ballot Hall of Famer, Triple Crown winner. I thought it was hilarious when Omar Lopez, we asked him about Miggy today in our meeting. He said he yells at these guys what to do, and when we don't do it, he gets even more angry and yells louder at them. How would you not listen to Miguel Cabrera?
He does so much reading of the pitcher's tendencies while other guys are cheering. He is locked in. Play at second base, and diving back in is Torres. Saw the shortstop Genda, who is one of the best defensive players at any position in Japan, sneaking behind Abreu.
It's the old daylight play. They almost got him. Torres gets back.
Still 1-2 on Abreu. Breaking ball drops outside. Abreu, a platoon guy, really. He hits right-handers 60 points better than left-handers. Making his WBC debut here in 2026. The 26-year-old. Waits for a 2-2. 3-2.
Now it gets interesting if you're Yamamoto. I don't think he's going to throw him a fastball here. He wants to get the punch out right here. He doesn't want to allow Abreu to move Gleyber Torres to third base with less than 2 outs. If I'm him, I'm throwing a split. I think he can get the swing and miss here if he throws him a split that starts over the plate and breaks down.
And Ends up missing with a curveball high and a walk from Yamamoto. His first. The first 3 batters for Venezuela have reached in the second. A run already across. And as you said, the future Hall of Famer Salvador Perez is hitting 8th in this lineup. He'll stand in against Yoshinobu. Two on, nobody out for the 35-year-old Perez. Takes a splitter strike.
I don't think he's going to bunt here, Adam. I don't know how many sacrifice bunts Salvador Perez has in his career, but I don't think it's very many. And when you have this guy, your captain, a Hall of Fame catcher hitting 8, that shows you the depth.
Flies one out towards right field. Coming in quickly is Sato. Can play multiple positions for Japan. He makes the grab for the first out. A much needed one for Yamamoto here in the second. If you were curious, as A.J. was, not a single sacrifice.
I didn't think there was
Salvador Perez's 14-year, 1,700-game Major League career. One down for the 9-hitter, Jackson Chourio, the Milwaukee Brewers. He takes a breaking ball strike. He does have a home run against Yamamoto. Came in the postseason. Their teams leaning on younger players and younger players. Chourio just turned 22 on Wednesday. Taps it foul, 0-2. That's how old Sal Perez was when he first joined Team Venezuela 13 years ago. Now Chourio, one of the youngest, Perez, the oldest for Venezuela. Yamamoto ahead again of a hitter, 0-2. Trying to put away Chourio. Lays off a high fastball.
Interesting to me with Yamamoto, and this is the way he also kind of pitches when he's in the major leagues. He doesn't throw a lot of fastballs for strikes. He kind of shows it. He uses the splitter, the curveball, the slider, the cutter, all the different pitches to get the outs, mainly the splitter. He does not throw a lot of fastballs, especially when it gets hit the way Acuna hit the fastball.
There's the fastball. He gets a swing and miss on it for a strikeout, his first of the night. 2 down here in the second.
But this wasn't a strike. This ball was off the plate. It surprised Chourio. He doubled up with the fastball, went high fastball, 0-2, and then he just yanked this, and Chourio was late, thinking the same thing I was talking about. Man, he's not going to challenge me with a heater, and he beat him.
There's the man who started it off with some fireworks. Acuna back to the plate. Second time up with 2 on and 2 out. And he'll take ball 1. And that pitch count for Yamamoto already at 35. 21 pitches in a more laborious second inning for Japan. Close pitch. It's in there for a strike. Yamamoto, 27 years of age. 3-time Pacific League MVP. 3-time Sawamura winner. That's the Cy Young in Japan. Play at second again. They have been trying to get Torres, and this time it was the second baseman Maki who came over. Torres back in safe again. Ball and a strike. Acuna, check swing roller to the right side. Maki covering a lot of ground. He'll throw out Acuna to retire the side in the second. But a couple of extra base hits got it going. Tovar keeps it going against Yamamoto. Torres drove him in, and Venezuela's got the lead, firing up their hitting coach, the legend Miguel Cabrera. Once again, Ranger Suarez gets to work with a lead after Team Venezuela's offense puts up a run in the first and the second. An Acuna homer, an Ohtani homer, and an RBI double from Gleyber Torres. That's the scoring as we're into the bottom of the second. Kazuma Okamoto back in, swings and lines a shot to center field. Jackson Churio is right there. That'll be the first out on one pitch for Suarez. Okamoto was at the plate when Suzuki was cut down trying to steal, and he left the game with injury. Here's Munetaka Murakami. Now in the American League. Signed a 2-year deal with the Chicago White Sox. So another power hitter entering the fray in Major League Baseball. Murakami has already made an impact in the WBC. Had a huge home run against the United States in the finals 3 years ago. Part of that victory for the Japanese. It's a big cut of that sinker, and it's 1-2.
Well, I'm as excited as anybody to see how Murakami does in the Major League since he's on the White Sox. But the one thing about him is there's swing and miss in there. Can he cut that down a little bit and still keep his power?
Waves and misses. There's that slider tailing away. And Murakami is retired. Second strikeout for Ranger Suarez. You can play the Fox Super 6 World Baseball Classic Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win your share of $20,000 in total cash prizes. You can see the Fox Sports app for details. Here is Shugo Maki. 5 straight first pitch strikes dealt by Ranger Suarez.
Ranger Suarez ain't messing around.
Yep.
He doesn't need a pitch clock. He gets the ball and is going. I love it. He puts pressure on the hitters. You got to be ready. He's coming.
It's another swing and miss. That time the changeup and a chance for a 1-2-3 second.
In a shutdown inning if he gets his third out. His team scored, has a lot of momentum. Get him back in the dugout.
Oh, the Venezuelan fans wanted that one. Close changeup. And Maki's still alive at 2-2.
Just a little bit low. Salvi wanted it behind the plate.
Another chance for Maki, the MVP of the All-Star game in Japan a couple of years ago. Goes down this time on that change again. A swing and miss from Suarez. A 10-pitch shutdown, second inning.
Welcome back to Miami. We're with Venezuela manager Omar Lopez. Your offense has gotten Yamamoto into the strike zone and cashed in on 3 extra base hits. What do you see from the approach tonight?
Well, everything when these guys talked before the game today and back in the hotel is working. You know, the approach is there. You know, we're kind of applying exactly what we talk about it to go against Yamamoto, and it's working so far. I hope we get a couple more runs off him.
Ranger Suarez looks good. He pitched to Ohtani 4 pitches, all 4 different pitches, and still a home run. What is the approach for the rest of this game against Ohtani?
Well, we'll see what's the situation of Ohtani. Ohtani can hit the ball a game like that again, especially with runners on base. We'll see what happens, but I think Ranger Suarez is doing a really good job so far. Changeup is working, and hope he can give me a couple more innings too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate Omar Lopez. Great coaching staff. Victor Martinez, Miguel Cabrera right there. Robinson Chirinos, Gerardo Parra, Douglas Odor, a lot of names that have a lot of experience, both playing and managing and coaching. Michael Garcia strokes one out to left field. Yoshida ranging back at the wall. It's off the fence again. And the Venezuelans are teeing off another extra base hit. And it is Michael Garcia, his 7th hit of the tournament.
They are hitting missiles off of Yamamoto. He's looking up at the scoreboard going, I am not used to this. Every time they throw a fastball, or he throws a fastball or makes a small mistake, that's a fastball and it's a strike, and Michael Garcia does not miss it. Down, a little bit in, and another extra base hit for the Venezuelans.
He's got a double. His cousin Acuna has a home run. And now Luis Arraez will climb in with a man in scoring position. Okamoto comes in at third, as does the first baseman Murakami.
And Adam, can I just say, if you haven't been to one of these WBC games, the atmosphere, especially here in Miami with Venezuela and Japan, the fans are unreal. The electricity in this stadium right now.
Yeah. As we said, this is the 6th tournament. Nice curve for a strike there. It's going to be wild coming up on Sunday, as the rest of the tournament will be played here at Lone Depot Park, the home of the Marlins. One to Arraez. His pull foul, 1-2. USA, Dominican Republic tomorrow night with Paul Skeens and Luis Severino is the pitching matchup. That is wild. It's going to be equally wild in terms of atmosphere here. Italy has advanced for the very first time, so the winner of this game will get the Italians on Monday, and then the finals here on Tuesday night. This is where Pool D was played, with Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Netherlands, and Israel. 2-strike pitch to Arraez, and he leans out of the way, 2-2.
We were talking before the game about the game tomorrow night, the Dominican U.S. with Tom Verducci. As you see Yamamoto go up, and Luis Arraez gives him the old, okay, I see you, pal. Nothing malice in that, but just a little, I see you.
Little wake-up call slightly for Arraez on a 2-2 pitch, and he fights off a breaking ball.
Usually it's the Italians that are caffeinated right there. That woke up Luis Arraez. But this matchup tomorrow, this might be the most talent in a non-all-star game we've ever seen. If you start looking at the two lineups, the pitching staffs, everything combined, this might be, and I know Tom and I talked about this before the game on the field, but is going to be one of the great matchups of all time of any game.
3-2 on Arraez. Just the amount of all-star appearances, Silver Sluggers, MVPs, Gold Gloves, Cy Young Award winners throughout both of those rosters. You got a bunch of them in these two rosters. That's why there was such a buzz around the WBC, and there's buzz in the building for a 3-2. Arraez fouls it away.
Man, if I had to bet, okay, runner on second, nobody out. If I had to take one guy in Major League Baseball to try to get him over, I would take Luis Arraez. Yamamoto is filthy nasty, but Luis Arraez bat control. Now he probably won't do it because I just said it, but you can tell by his swings he is trying to make sure he misses on the right side.
Bouncing ball to the right side. Maki has it. That'll move the runner over. And on the 49th pitch for Yamamoto, he records his 7th out. One away in the third, and Garcia to third base.
But did you see how happy Luis Arraez was right there? He hit a weak ground ball to second. He's running to first, clapping, looking at the dugout, saying, let's go. I did my job. Why? He moved him over to third for Suarez. Watch him. He is so happy. Most people would be, oh, man, I didn't get a hit. But instead, little things matter.
Infield plays in now. Here is Suarez. First pitch swinging, and Eugenio fouls it away. Ground out his first time up. You see action again behind Yamamoto. That's Shoma Fujihara, as Yamamoto just tossed his 50th pitch of this quarterfinal contest. The leash not much longer now. Suarez waves at a breaking ball. It's 0-2. Another nasty pitch that falls off the table there for Yamamoto. So good at commanding up and down, in and out of the strike zone. Garcia, the leadoff double. He's at third with one out. Suarez susceptible to the strikeout in his major league career. Goes down swinging here on that splitter and almost fell over. There's the second K for Yamamoto. First on the split.
Just a tough at bat for Gino Suarez right there. Just Yamamoto needed to get nasty, and he does. Another split down and in. Suarez loses his balance right there. Tough at bat. But now Yamamoto's got to face his nemesis.
4 extra base hits and 11 times seeing him. Tovar against Yamamoto. Ezequiel Tovar making his World Baseball Classic debut this year, just 24 years of age. From Maracay, Venezuela. Grew up rolling up socks into balls so that he and his family could play baseball in the middle of the street. Rounds 1 foul, 1-1. So many stories like that for so many of these young players who idolize the likes of Omar Vizquel and Miguel Cabrera, coming up as young children playing in the streets of their home cities. About a decade and a half later, here they are representing their country on the biggest international baseball stage. Runner at third, 2 out. Tovar goes chasing. That is something he does do often at the big league level. And Yamamoto has a chance to get out of this inning unscathed as he gets closer and closer to the end of his line. Tovar protects the plate and grounds it foul.
If I'm Yamamoto, I just bounce another curveball. He's shown he'll chase it. Tovar will. It's slower right there. He was on that slider because it had more velocity. If you can bounce one of those slow curveballs, I feel like Tovar would chase.
Another 1-2. Goes down swinging away from Wakatsuki, but he'll apply the tag, and that'll retire the side. And a little bit of a sigh of relief from Yamamoto as he gets out of the third with nothing doing. And Shohei Ohtani will bat in the Japanese third inning in this quarterfinal contest. 2-1 Venezuela. You can show your country's pride like this young fan at MLBshop.com. The largest selection of authentic World Baseball Classic jerseys, caps, t-shirts, and more. MLBshop.com is the official source for all your WBC gear. Certainly a partisan crowd for the folks from Venezuela here in Miami, but an incredible travel party for the Japanese fans as well. It's a wonderful atmosphere as we hit the bottom of the third. And Soshie Genda, an excellent defensive shortstop, one of the best to ever play baseball in Japan, a 9-year professional for the Cebu Lions. Starts off the bottom of the third against Ranger Suarez. Takes a strike, 1-1.
That's the pitch right there that makes Ranger Suarez so tough. Usually gets a lot of ground balls when he's right, but he can sink that ball, keep it on the ground, and then he throws the changeup right off of it, which gets the swing and miss.
He floats a slider, just lands outside. He's got such a great mix, 6-pitch mix last year, as we showed you earlier. That slider is the rarest pitch in his arsenal, but he can bust it out and get some swings and misses on it too. Back to a fastball, and it's foul. It is 10 p.m. Eastern Time here in Miami. It is also 10 p.m. in Caracas in Venezuela. It is 11 a.m. Sunday morning in Tokyo now, 13 hours ahead of the Eastern Time Zone of the United States. Many in Tokyo have risen with the sun to watch this game and prepare for it. Japan tries to go 6 for 6 to the semifinals. They've been to the semis in every tournament so far, winning it a record 3 times. The Dominican Republic has a title, as does the United States. Payoff pitch to Genda, and he draws a walk. Second walk issued by Suarez, and the leadoff man is aboard here in the third for Japan. And don't forget who's looming now on deck.
Well, here's an interesting thing about Japan. Normally they would bunt. They've always liked to bunt and use small ball a little bit, but with Shohei hitting behind them, I don't know that you do that, because then you open it up to where they can just intentionally walk Shohei.
Wakatsuki does show bunt. The Japanese catcher pulls back and takes a ball. You see the third baseman in Garcia crashing. The other interesting note that we heard from the Japanese manager Hirokazu Ibata through his interpreter Shingo Ori was, we would like to slug a little bit if possible. We have a lineup that's built for it.
He did that with Shohei.
Exactly.
Yeah, my amigo, Johan Santana.
One of the all-time greats. Pitching coach for Team Venezuela. So many memorable moments in Major League Baseball. I still think about that no-hitter he tossed, the first ever in Mets history, about a decade and a half ago.
2 Cy Youngs. One of my all-time favorite teammates, just always happy. What a pitcher.
He's got a really good pitching staff that only allowed 12 runs in that vaunted Pool D during pool play in their 4 games. After the conference, after Wakatsuki showed bunt, he does it again and lays down a beauty. That is beautiful, fundamental Japanese baseball that moves the man in Genda into scoring position. And back to the top for Shohei Ohtani, who said he loves hitting in this park. I wonder why. They're not even going to bother with him because they know what Ohtani can do anywhere. We know what he did back in September of 24, as our colleague Joe Davis called it, the greatest day in baseball history. 6 for 6, 3 homers, 2 steals, 10 RBIs, and then he opened up the quarterfinal with a home run in this contest too. He'll take first base on the intentional walk.
No chance he was going to. No chance he was going to get the hit right there, and that's why I questioned whether they would bunt right there, and they did. And now Shohei's telling the Venezuelans, hey, give me a chance, guys.
Why wouldn't you give me a shot? Did I do something wrong? Now 2 aboard for Sato. He swings at the first Suarez offering. This is a power hitter. In fact, this is the Central League MVP a year ago who led the league in homers and RBIs. 40 homers, 102 driven in for the Hanshin Tigers in 139 games. This year is his World Baseball Classic debut. He just turned 27 years old yesterday. 40th Suarez pitch is fouled away.
Best way to make him pay for walking Shohei, not giving him a chance, is to do something behind him. It's a little bit insulting when you're the guy hitting behind an intentional walk. Makes you maybe lock in a little bit more, but Ranger Suarez is a tough lefty.
Johan already communicating with the bullpen. As we said, it's been a very good run overall for the pitching staff of Venezuela. 2 on, 1 out, 3rd inning. And Sato will take a slider ball. Already seeing some stirring in the Venezuelan bullpen.
Luzardo looks like he's up.
Pitched a couple of times in the tournament already. Sato will take one in the dirt. Perez is able to knock it down. 5-time Gold Glover with the Kansas City Royals behind the plate. Luzardo, who was heavily used in the postseason by Seattle last year, loosening up quickly as Suarez is closing in on 45 tosses. Omar Lopez said 4 innings or 60 pitches max is what he's looking for Suarez.
I think if he gets out of this inning, it might be done for him. There's been some high stress.
Sato lines one fair down the right field line. Genda will come around and score all the way into the corner for Acuna. Ohtani will stop at 3rd base. An RBI double for Teruaki Sato. And this game is tied at 2 in the 3rd. And the stress only continues, A.J., for Suarez.
More stress, more stressful. A little slider. It does not get away. It stays inside. And Sato waffles this ball down the right field line past Arise. The only question for me is I thought Shohei could score on this ball. He goes back originally, and then he doesn't get a great jump, and therefore he doesn't score. Infield's in for Venezuela. They got to cut off as many runs as possible.
It's Morishita first at bat after he came in for the injured Seiya Suzuki, playing in center field. Just 25 years of age, just 1 for 6 in the tournament, but a guy that has home run power. Fellow Hanshin Tiger.
One thing about Ranger Suarez in these 3 innings, he has not been able to really land that changeup. It has been mostly sinkers that he's had to throw. He's thrown a few good sliders, but that changeup, which we've come to know him for, he has not been able to command at all.
Morishita bounces it foul, 1-1. Great season last year for the Tigers. Top 5 in homers, RBIs, runs, hits, and games played. A durable one. That's Morishita taken outside in that change. There's another one of those changeups that really hasn't sailed where Suarez wants it to yet.
He's had trouble the entire night from the first inning on, really throwing that changeup where he wants it.
Angel Serpa loosening as well. Popped up by Morishita. He'll get out of play, and it's 2-2. He's a Golden Glove winner as well. As we said, you hate to lose Suzuki if you're Team Japan, but it's not a massive drop-off at the plate nor in the field with Morishita. Infield takes a step back on a 2-2. And he lifts one deep to left field. Abreu ranging back. This ball is gone! And Japan takes the lead. Off the bench, Morishita delivers. Yoshida takes a strike. Every young kid growing up in Japan hopes that he gets the opportunity to do what Morishita just did. Called upon due to injury, step up for your country and slam a 3-run shot. Ground ball off the bat of Yoshida, picked up by Torres, and there's the second out of the 3rd inning.
A bad changeup. I just kept talking about the changeup. That's a bad changeup. He wants it down and away. He kind of floats it down and in. Little yank. And Morishita does not miss it. He knew it right away. Right off the bat, he knew that was a home run. The Japanese bench knew it was a home run. Watch him.
That'll do it for Ranger Suarez. Past 50 pitches, cannot get out of the 3rd. A great big game pitcher frustrated with this performance. And the Venezuelans go to the bullpen. Japan has the lead. 3 walks issued by Suarez, 2 in this inning, both scored. One on the Sato double and the other on the Morishita 3-run home run. A couple of bombs given up by Suarez, and a 5-2 Japan lead brings Edward Bazardo in. And a fabulous regular season, was leaned on heavily in the postseason by the Seattle Mariners. Has to face Okamoto, the 3rd baseman. Excellent power hitter to start his outing, trying to get out of this 3rd. Line shot down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Okamoto on his way to 2nd. All 8 hits in this game are for extra bases. Miami friendly to the hitters for these 2 clubs, and a 2-out double for the new Toronto Blue Jay.
It is just extra base after extra base hit here, Adam. Every ball is barreled when it's hit, and every ball is either going into a gap or over the fence. Okamoto just gets a little sinker, doesn't really get in. He beats it to the spot, rips it down the left field line, and Japan is in business again.
There's Murakami taken high and away. 3 homers, 5 doubles. Yeah, the fireworks aplenty on a late night start in Miami. Another one outside from Bazardo. 2-0 on Murakami.
And by the way, we're in the third inning.
Yeah, we got a long way to go, my man. We are here for it. It was Ibata. Big cut there on a 3-0. He had the green light going with a man at second and 2 out in this third inning. Part of the awesome atmosphere here at Lone Depot Park tonight. Check on second, and back to the bag goes Okamoto. We asked Hirokazu Ibata about it. He said, we're prepared for the noise. We know what this atmosphere is like. We know how great the Venezuelan crowd is going to be. On the ground to second. Picked up by Torres. And that'll retire the side. The Japanese have shown no intimidation. Not that we expected them to, especially with Otani at the top of the order. All smiles as the Japanese have teed off. Morishita off the bench. The big blow in the third. To the middle innings we go in the quarters. Welcome back to Miami and the 2026 World Baseball Classic on Fox, presented by Capital One. Continues on FS1 the next 2 nights for the semifinals. The Dominican Republic and the United States. Italy in the semis for the very first time will face the winner of this one. And the finals on Fox on Tuesday night in this thrilling World Baseball Classic. It is still Yoshinobu Yamamoto out there after his offense gives him a 4-run boost in the third. And on the first pitch of the fourth inning, he gets Gleyber Torres to bounce out to the shortstop Genda for the first out.
I think Yamamoto went in the dugout and said, we just scored 4 runs. Let me get us through the fourth. I know my pitch count's around 60. Let me get through the fourth inning here. Give me to 70 and we'll go from there. But first pitch out definitely helps his cause.
For the first time, he retires the Venezuelan leadoff man. It's Torres, and now Wilyer Abreu with the bases empty and 1 out. I mean, wouldn't shock you, would it, with Yamamoto, considering the accomplishments of the World Series last year? A guy who clearly was willing, ready, and able to come in on back-to-back nights and close out a second straight Dodgers title for Dave Roberts. Abreu will take a strike. Absolutely incredible stuff. Complete game in Game 2 where he retired the final 20 batters. Came back in Game 6, got another victory, and then the next night 2 2/3 on 34 pitches in that phenomenal extra inning Game 7. And he gets a splitter to tail away from a swinging Abreu.
Give him a lead. He turns it up a notch. It's tremendous what he does and what he did in the World Series after the Game 6 performance and coming back in Game 7 the next day. There wasn't even a break in between. It was the next day.
The 1-2 pitch waved on and missed. So now feeling confident with that splitter. 2 up and 2 down in the fourth. Back to that incredible postseason run. The final double play to end it.
An amazing way to end an incredible, absolutely incredible, not only World Series, but postseason. Adam, you and I, we had the Detroit-Seattle series that went extra innings in Game 5. Then the ALCS was incredible, and then the World Series. Just an amazing postseason. And Yamamoto just told his manager to beat it, by the way. He just said, I'm finishing this inning. And he told all his infielders, don't even bother coming in here. I'm finishing this inning.
And the limit is 80 in the quarterfinals. We weren't expecting more than 65. He may get out of this inning right around 65 or 70 if he gets Perez quickly, and he is ahead, 0-1.
Well, this is his last batter, no matter what.
Yep.
But he wants to get Salvador Perez out so he can walk off the mound on a positive note and look at his teammates and say, we can do this, boys.
Facing the Venezuelan captain, Salvador Perez. And it's a ball and a strike. So Fujihara, who's already gotten up to loosen, will seemingly be the next man. You do see the left-hander as well in Sumida, who was also loosening up earlier. So it'll be matchup based going forward. Big cut. You saw the run on that sinker, getting Perez to swing and miss to the pleasure of Ohtani. Perez leads off that tough curve. Yamamoto looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Would likely come in his final inning of the night. Trying to get a strike to put away Perez. Good at bat here from Sal as he takes a splitter low to run it full.
I can't imagine he challenges him with anything but a split or a slider or something going away from him. Salvi still at his age is a great fastball hitter. If you make a mistake, he can do damage. I would expect this to be some sort of off-speed pitch.
Payoff pitch to Perez is fouled back. Man who's hit 303 major league home runs. Only Eugenio Suarez, his teammate Andres Galarraga, and his hitting coach Miguel Cabrera have more among Venezuelan-born players. Nasty. Curveball freezes Perez. Yamamoto finishes off 4 innings by retiring the final 6 batters he faces. 5-2 Japan through 3.5. Tomorrow the NASCAR Cup Series is on FS1 as the best of the best go full throttle in Vegas for the Pennzoil 400. Checkered flags fly tomorrow at 4 Eastern with pre-race action beginning at 2:30 only on FS1. Japan comes to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. We go down to the field and check in with Tom Bertucci for an update.
Well, we saw Seiya Suzuki leave the game after that awkward head-first slide in the second base. We are told he's being treated for discomfort of the right knee. Now, he's still being evaluated, so there is no prognosis, but for now, discomfort of the right knee.
That's obviously very difficult for Hirokazu Ibata, but the man he turned to, Shota Morishita, came in to play center field and had the big 3-run home run in the 3rd. You see Yamamoto getting a lot of congratulations after a somewhat rocky start. Man, did he close strong.
He did. The last inning was his best inning by far. A quick inning, and again, that's what ace pitchers do, though. You give him a lead, he says, give me one more inning, Skip. He goes out there and does it as we have a new pitcher here for the Venezuela.
Is Emmanuel de Jesus, and he pours in a first pitch strike to Shugo Maki, the second baseman. Quickly ahead, 0-2. De Jesus tossed 5 innings for the victory against Israel. He was the starter in the second game in pool play for this group. Was part of the biggest Venezuela win in pool play of their 3. Foul back, and it's still 0-2 on Maki.
Well, someone's going to have to give him some sort of innings for the Venezuelan team, as can't put their spirits down. They don't care about the score. They're having fun.
Popped up by Maki into right. Cunha coming on is there for the first out. De Jesus, a AAA prospect for the Detroit Tigers, just 29 years of age, from Valencia, Venezuela, in his second WBC. Just signed that minor league deal with Detroit after spending the last couple of years in Korea. Here's the shortstop, Gendo, who's walked and scored. Got that lefty out there to contend with all the solid lefties in this Japan lineup.
That's why a lot of people thought Ranger Suarez would be a good matchup against this Japanese team, because of the lefties in the lineup. But he didn't throw enough strikes. He fell behind a lot of hitters, and he could not find his changeup, and that is very un-Ranger Suarez-like.
Morishita had the big blow, that 4-run 3rd. Another foul by Genda, still fighting them away, and it's 1-2. He has won 7 straight Pacific League Golden Glove awards. Same deal as the Gold Glove, best defensive player at that position. He's a great shortstop. Did not win it last year, had his streak broken. With the prior 7 he had won. Had he won the award again last year, that would have tied the all-time Japanese record for consecutive Golden Gloves. That's how good Soshie Genda is at that position.
Well, who beat him?
There's a guy for the Oryx Buffaloes in Daisuke Yamashita.
One thing I love about Japanese baseball is watch the way they're at bats. They don't strike out a lot. They put the ball in play most of the time. And you can see right here with Genda, he's just trying to put the ball in play any way he can. Tough lefty into Jesus.
And he finally gets one through. After he fouled a few away, he bangs one up the middle for a base hit. He's been aboard twice. First non-extra base hit of the game. First single we have in this contest.
What's he doing? What is he doing? A little sinker. He just stays on it, left on left, shoots it up the middle. Now we know he's not bunting.
Had 8 hits, all of them for extra bases until that 1-out single from Genda to set it up for Wakatsuki, who had a sacrifice in the 3rd. You hear a lot about Japanese baseball. Discipline, tactical. They don't slug maybe as much as some other teams in this field do, but as we talked about, Hirokazu Ibata wanted that slug. And in this tournament, they've had it. 3 home runs from Ohtani, a couple from Suzuki, 1 from Morishita tonight, 2 from Masataka Yoshida. But a good power fest for Japan in this tournament thus far. Wakatsuki ahead 2-0 on to Jesus. 3-0. Along with that comes the regal and disciplined nature of how Japanese baseball has operated for more than a century. Such a wonderful mix.
They have figured out how to slug. Because you look at some of their stars that we have over in Major League Baseball now. Ohtani, slug. Suzuki's a slugger. Murakami is supposed to be a slugger when he gets to the White Sox, right? Okamoto is supposed to be a slugger. They've figured out now. They've always played a little different baseball, a little more contact oriented, a little more hitting and running, a little more bunting, a little more small ball defense. But they've figured out how to slug. And the ones that can do it really can do it.
Yep. These fans that have come from Tokyo, from all over Japan to watch it, they've been loving it. Now 9-hitter draws the walk. That's Kenya Wakatsuki. 2 aboard with 1 out in the 4th. And back to the top of the order for Ohtani, who was intentionally walked in the 3rd. After in the 1st inning, he tied this game.
No words. Slider didn't do much, stayed inside. Big moment. 114 miles an hour, 427 feet, homer in every ballpark, including the Tokyo Dome.
Oh, and he was looking for another there, and right in the wheelhouse. High fastball, top of the zone. These fans are all anticipating something special too from Ohtani.
Honestly, if you're going to get him out, you got to get him out up there. If you throw it down, he throws that ball another foot down, that ball might be another homer.
So goes up to start, lowers it down with the cutter, and quickly ahead 0-2 of Ohtani is De Jesus.
A little nice cutter off the high fastball. Now he's ahead. Doesn't mean anything, because if you make a mistake, Ohtani's still dangerous with 2 strikes.
He's off 1-2. Stories of Ohtani, legendary, coming out of Japan. Put a ball through the roof at the Tokyo Dome at one point before he came to the major leagues. Oof, that was coming up and in, and a defensive swing fights that fastball off.
Adam, you know how you're an amazing baseball player? Besides being able to foul off this fastball up and in, off his knuckles, but When he took BP today, the entire Venezuelan team was out there watching.
Yep.
Every ball he hit, the crowd was oohing and awing. When you get a team like Venezuela to come out and watch you take BP, you know you're special.
Oh, what a special pitch. That cutter was nasty from De Jesus to get Ohtani. That is the first time that Ohtani has struck out in the tournament. It's the second out of the fourth, and here is Sato. Still 2 on and 2 out. Fouled away.
Just a filthy cutter. Slider, horizontal movement. Ohtani's head was in it, but his heart really wasn't. You see him open up and everything going to first base. Like you said, on the first time Ohtani's punched out in this tournament, it's a big one for Venezuela.
Sato was thinking about swinging. He held back and took a high strike. A chance for Sato to get out of this inning with 2 aboard. De Jesus back, beg your pardon. De Jesus debuted in the majors with the Miami Marlins a few years ago before going over to Korea. 2 on, 2 out in the fourth, and a 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball foul.
De Jesus has got a chance to get some momentum back here in Venezuela. The crowd is trying to get back into it here. They all yell the ponche, ponche when he gets to 2 strikes. If he can get out of this, he gets Ohtani, he gets Sato here. Maybe a little momentum, a little hope for Venezuela.
One-two. He struck him out. Acuna's coming up. Venezuela gets out of the jam. Good pitching from De Jesus. Tomorrow on Fox, the IndyCar Series roars into Arlington for the first time ever, and the inaugural race begins with a star-studded Texas-sized party. Whoever wrote this copy, very well done. The Java House Grand Prix of Arlington tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern, only on Fox. Chihiro Sumida comes out of this Japanese bullpen, got a victory already in this tournament under his belt, and pitched very well in a lengthy outing, 3 innings to get the win against Australia when they moved to 3-0 in pool play. It's a big job here to deal with Churio and then back to the top with Acuna and Garcia. Yamamoto retired the last 6 men he faced and now gives way to the left-hander in Sumida. At 5'9", 167 pounds. 2-0.
Venezuela has to go now. They have to be the next team to score in this game. It's winner take all. They're already down 3. They cannot give up any more runs. De Jesus, great job getting out of it, but here's their chance. They're 2-0 right here on Jackson Churio. You have Acuna on deck, the top of their order. You got to figure out a way to score the next run if you're Venezuela.
Churio struck out his first time on a fastball. He'll take that fastball high, and he's ahead 3-0. Young star for the Milwaukee Brewers, just turned 22. And in the 2 seasons prior to turning 22 years old, back-to-back 20 homer, 20 steal campaigns. Takes all the way a strike.
You know, one thing that's amazing, I played against the Japanese All-Stars in 2002 with a team from MLB that went over there. They didn't have a lot of guys that could break 90 miles an hour. It was more finesse, more breaking balls. Now the Japanese have Yamamoto 97, 98. Even Sumida here, low mid 90s. They figured out, we mentioned the power, they've also figured out a way to gain velocity.
It's a leadoff walk, though, drawn by Churio, and now Acuna will come to the plate with a man aboard and nobody out in the 5th. First pitch to Acuna. That was a nasty curveball for a strike. Big swooping breaking ball. 21 miles an hour slower than we saw that fastball to Churio that walked him. Check swing from Acuna. That's how he grounded out back in the second after his first inning homer.
Acuna hasn't seen a lot of fastballs anywhere close. Yamamoto has second at bat after hitting a home run. Steady diet off speed, and 2 fastballs that weren't strikes, got the check swing, and now we've seen a breaking ball and a changeup here from Sumida. Japan doesn't want to try that fastball trick again because last time went a long ways to right center.
Move towards third and foul. Acuna always comes back to winter ball in Venezuela. '23 NL MVP. Like Ohtani, had put together a very unique season, a 40-70 campaign. Never been done in baseball until Acuna did it 3 years ago. 0-2 pitch, and he fights off another tough off-speed delivery. Acuna, of course, a couple of ACL injuries. He's still only 28 years old. He has so much baseball in front of him. Was the comeback player of the year last year after that second ACL injury in 2024. Waits for another 2-strike pitch and takes outside and low.
Adam, he said Sumida doesn't throw a split like almost every other Japanese guy. That changeup acts like a split, the way it comes
really
out.
Does.
You know, you mentioned a fork ball, but the way that ball comes out, it has the movement of a split finger.
Might as well call it a split change. And it registered as a split, so we'll just go with the trend. Yeah. Everybody has a good splitter on this roster.
But also, here's the experience of a Ronald Acuna Jr. The more he sees it, you see the takes get better and better.
7th pitch coming here. Did he hold back? He did not. Dan Iasonia rang him up for the strikeout. Acuna's frustrated, but a big out to record by Sumida. You see Omar Lopez has to come out and settle down one of his stars after this strikeout.
Here's the problem I have with it. Listen, does Dan Iasonia maybe get it right? Yes. It's just too important of a game and too important of a point in the game for me on a pitch like that to make that call. That's why he's frustrated. Was it the right call? Possibly, but it's such a judgment call. Then again, I was a hitter, Adam, so I always thought no one swung.
There's a changeup that just misses to Michael Garcia.
Miggy's letting him know.
Yep. Yeah, he's still kind of chopping it up at Iasonia over there, veteran umpire.
What a thankless job as umpire. No one likes you ever. No matter what call, one team hates you.
There's a strike.
Right, because if he calls it no swing and Acuna does something, then Japan's yelling at him.
And now Iasonia is looking back towards Miguel Cabrera. Gerardo Parra, the first base coach, kind of slid his body in between the umpire and Venezuela's legendary hitting coach.
What's Iasonia? Honestly, is he going to throw out Miguel Cabrera at a WBC game? Maybe, but wow.
We've seen stranger things. Acuna's cousin Garcia will take another strike. A couple of well-located deliveries from the lefty Sumida. Garcia seemed relatively satisfied with the explanation from Chris Siegel behind the plate there. Two-two pitch. Flipped up into the air and out of play. Tom Verducci, you're very close to Miguel Cabrera down in that Venezuelan dugout.
Yeah, they haven't let up. And I guess I can tell you that in the rule book, there is no definition of a swing. So what the umpires do, and Dan Iasonia, the first base umpire, is looking right down the chalk of the foul line. And if they see the barrel cross the airspace of the foul line, they will rule swing. And that's clearly what happened right there.
Great stuff, Tom. There's a check over to first base and Churio. mentioned some of the adjustments or changes or applications of Major League Baseball rules. There is no ABS system, by the way, for this WBC. That will debut in Major League Baseball this year after a relatively successful spring training run. Just got a piece, did Garcia, and it banged off of his lower extremity. And his breakout season for the Kansas City Royals last year, and then signed an extension. American League Central is shaping up to be full of really good young stars in these next couple of years. Two-two pitch on the ground foul.
And a ton of them have been showcased in this WBC. Whatever team you look at, with Garcia, you mentioned the Royals. You go to the Team Italy with Caglione also on the Royals. Kyle Teal with the White Sox. Antonacci with the White Sox, right? They're just Travis Bazzana with the Team Australia hit some home runs in the Tokyo Dome.
#1 pick
with Cleveland.
Obviously, Bobby Witt Jr. probably towards the top of the list as one of
He's already a star, though.
Yeah, but still so young, right?
True.
What is he, 23 years old? There's so many of those guys right around 23, 24, 25. Garcia making it tough on Sumida. His 20th pitch is laced out towards left field. Yoshida's watching it. It is gone. And Venezuela's right back in it. Michael Garcia delivers. And Cabrera made sure he got one last word into Iasonia after an emotional last 3 or 4 minutes here in Miami. And there is su primo, his cousin, Acuna, the first man over the railing to cheer for Garcia. Big cut there from Arise, and it's 0-2.
You think this doesn't matter? You think this doesn't matter to both of these teams? Just watch the emotion. We're only in the 5th inning. Actually, 4 1/3 inning here, but Miguel Cabrera, Hall of Famer, fired up. Ronald Acuna on track to be a Hall of Famer, fired up. His cousin hitting homers.
Arise reaches out, the rare strikeout from Luis Arise, and the momentum shifting back and forth here. My goodness, they're still firing up Acuna in the dugout. 2 away here in the 5th. Maybe more settling him down than firing him up.
Let's throw one more little thing on top of this. Venezuela wins this game. They go to the Olympics.
That's right.
So this game means even more than just the WBC. And the emotion in the Venezuela dugout, they know.
Sumida was on as a left-hander to make sure he got through Arise. He gets the strikeout, but gives up the 2-run Michael Garcia homer. 5-4. Deeper into the Japanese bullpen we go. Shoma Fujihara coming. Shoma Fujihara was the first reliever used by Japan in their opening game of this tournament. And he steps in with 2 down and the bases empty, and Eugenio Suarez coming to the plate. You talked about it, A.J. Guys in Japan have developed more and more velocity over the years. An example we're going to see here with Fujihara. He'll face Suarez, trying to end this 5th inning. Starts him off with a sinker.
That was not a sinker, by the way. That was a split. I'm going with split on that. That had split action.
Man.
It might have registered as a sinker, but that was a split. And by the way, he also has like the coolest pause at the top of his motion ever, and he'll mix it up to try to mess with guys' timing. But That was not a sinker. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you on that. And again, speaks to the velocity. When you have an 88-mile-an-hour split to match with a mid-90s high fastball, what a difficult assignment for any hitter to have to face in Japan. That's translated into this tournament, too. Ball and a strike on Gino Suarez.
See, I would get so angry right now as a hitter because there's a pitch clock, so he has to start the time, but then he holds it on top of his balance for like 3 seconds. Watch, is 6. Now he'll start and he'll just hold it there.
Yeah, so it's the clock ended with 4. It's an extra like 2 seconds on that hold, and he's mixed up the timings too. Suarez did not go. It's 2-1.
And then someone will get on, he'll slide step the next pitch. Yeah. And as a hitter, you're going, wait, how is that not a balk?
The other element, these teams have had to adjust so fast to their opponents in this tournament. 3-1 on Suarez, missing with a changeup.
That's a split.
Split change.
A split change, sinker, whatever you want to call it. That ball's a split.
Absolutely.
Fork ball, whatever you want to call it. That ball has split action and split velocity.
Again, it's the pitch that has risen in popularity in Japan faster than any other, and that's translated to the United States over the last 5 years. 3-1 pitch to Suarez, in there for a strike.
See, he quick pitched him. But he quick pitched him.
Now he had the quick step.
As a hitter, I used to get so mad. How is that legal? Because he's messing with my timing. He goes slow, 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 and then all of a sudden, boom, quick pitch.
Fujihara to Suarez, a payoff delivery on the way. It's popped up foul.
And then what you do next is you've done slow, 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 quick pitch fastball. Then you go quick pitch split. And you get the hitter thinking, oh, here comes a fastball, rush him. And a lot of times you can get the swing and miss.
So it's a combination of basically 3 pitches with 3 or 4, maybe 5 different types of timings. Then add in location, then add in velocity. Oof, Suarez fouls one off his foot.
And a lot of times when guys have big leg kicks like Suarez, he's cut it down a little bit. But you watch this motion. Jose Bautista was a great example, had the big leg kick. So we would tell our pitcher slide step because he tries to time off of you. If you slide step, you rush him. And that's what Suarez is thinking. He's like, is he going to quick pitch me? Is he going to go slow? Is he going to go double leg kick? It's all trying to mess up Suarez's timing.
Wakatsuki managing it all behind the plate for an excellent closer in Japan in Fujihara. Suarez skies it. Murakami and Wakatsuki are there. It's the catcher Wakatsuki to hold on to it. But Michael Garcia, after a breakout 2025, bangs a 2-run shot in the quarters for Team Venezuela. The dugout and his cousin alive again. Well, one of the most notable names in the Japanese lineup, Seiya Suzuki, walked in the first inning and was cut down trying to steal, but you saw that hard slide, and he left this game with some knee discomfort. Took a little while for Hirokazu Ibata to choose the replacement, and he chose the right one. Shota Morishita, a power hitter in his own right, in his first at bat in the 3rd inning, that 3-run shot that at the time made it a 5-2 game. Since then, the 2-run home run by Michael Garcia to make it 5-4. We are halfway through this quarterfinal, and Emmanuel De Jesus continues to work out of the Venezuelan bullpen. He'll face Morishita here and pour in a fastball strike.
That home run here by Morishita seems like it was 2 hours ago. Everything that's happened in between.
The big hits, big pitches, and a lot of emotion.
And a lot of fun.
It's awesome.
Both teams are having fun. Everyone in the stadium seems like they're having fun. No matter what team you're rooting for, you've had something to cheer for. Venezuelan has 5 hits and has hit 5 rockets.
2 balls and a strike on Morishita. It started out in the first inning for both teams, right? You get an Acuna home run for Venezuela to start it off. Ohtani comes back and hits a solo blast. And it's been nonstop seemingly ever since. With a spot in the semis on the line. 3-1 on Morishita.
I believe tonight, it's never happened in a major league game. leadoff home runs by guys that were former MVPs. I think tonight is the first time we've ever seen that happen in a game.
That's awesome. 4-time MVP Ohtani, 1-time MVP Acuna. And Morishita takes a big cut. It's 3-2. In fact, that Svita, our excellent statistician, lets us know only twice did it happen in all of the 2025 regular season in Major League Baseball that both teams had a leadoff home run in the first inning. It's a rarity to say the least. Payout pitch is fouled, although maybe when you look at the way these lineups are constructed and the players that are playing in this tournament, and you got Ohtani and Acuna at the top of these orders, maybe it's not as surprising or shocking.
And tomorrow you'll have Bobby Witt, and who leads off for, I mean, pick one of the All-Stars. Fernando Tatis.
Soto, put somebody at the top. That'll be tomorrow night from here in Miami. 3-2 pitch. And called strike 3 at the knees. 3 straight strikeouts recorded by DeJesus against the top of the Japanese order going back to the 4th.
Morishita doesn't like it. That was a perfect pitch by DeJesus. And people can say whatever they want about this WBC, but for someone like Emmanuel DeJesus, he has A.J. Hinch watching. He's got on a minor league deal with the Tigers. Hey, you punched out Shohei, you punched out Sato, you punched out Morishita, and now you get Yoshida. This is an audition on the biggest stage possible. This proves you can pitch in any environment.
This is the individual stories, the individual journeys that are part of the bigger tapestry of all of these minor league teams that are part of the bigger major league organizations that are part of Major League Baseball, and those players part of this international stage. 1-1 on Yoshida. Spent 7 years playing in Japan before getting the opportunity with the Boston Red Sox. So big in the knockout stages of that 2023 WBC en route to the championship for Samurai Japan, as they're known. Typically teams in Japan were named after their manager. So this year it would be Ibata Japan after Hirokazu Ibata. But in 2009, the Japanese decided to use the samurai, a symbol of their history, the warriors that stepped up for their country. Yoshida grounds one to second to Torres. And he'll throw out Yoshida. All part of these incredible stories, and from the WBC to the spring training games into the lead up to the regular season of Major League Baseball. The MLB app has you covered. Personalized highlights, push notifications. You can download the app, the #1 app for live baseball. They used that name, Samurai Japan, in 2009. They adopted it officially in 2012 for their national team. 2 down for Okamoto. He takes a strike. Another well-placed pitch. Low strike given to him, but DeJesus gets the lead pitch to get ahead of Okamoto. And check to Iasonia, 0-2. DeJesus looking for the shutdown frame. Popped up. Not touch the roof. It's in foul territory. Perez is there, and a strong effort out of the Venezuelan bullpen from Emmanuel DeJesus. We have played 5 full in the quarterfinals, a 1-run game to the 6th. Take a look at our game summary, sponsored by Capital One, as we hit high noon in the land of the rising sun and 11 p.m. Eastern time on a Saturday night in Miami. Acuna and Ohtani with the leadoff fireworks. Yamamoto finished strong. Suzuki had to leave after the first inning. Morishita, his replacement, with a big go-ahead home run. And now it'll be Ito coming in to a game where there have been 10 hits, 9 of them for extra bases. And Hiromi Ito, the Nippon Ham fighter, the Sawamura Award winner and a Golden Glove Award winner in 2025. So the top pitcher and the top defensive pitcher as well steps in against this Venezuelan lineup, looking to get back to level. Tovar, who had all those great numbers against Yamamoto, will now face a different pitcher for the first time tonight here in the 6th. First pitch swinging, Tovar fouls it away. High strikeout rate for Ito. Understandable for a guy who won the equivalent of the Cy Young in Japan last year. Great pitch mix. And learned a lot of those pitches from none other than the guy that has about as many pitches as any pitcher in baseball, and the guy that you caught, Yu Darvish, as they fixed the pitch comp for Wakatsuki behind the plate.
He got a pitch clock violation. First one of the WBC since the first game when Brazil had like 10 of them, I felt like.
Another one of those adjustments that many of these players had to get used to. Now, with the timer winding down, time used by Tovar. There's a foul and then the pitch clock violation, so it's 1-1. The only two pitchers to win the Sawamura Award for the Nippon Ham Fighters are Yu Darvish and Hiromi Ito. 28-year-old from Hokkaido deals a 2-1 to Tovar. Just missed outside, 3-1.
Here at the Japan bench, they're getting a little cranky after the strikeout to Morishita on a pitch he didn't love. That ball's clearly outside, though.
See guys over the railing of that third base Japanese dugout calling out towards the field. Ito's 3-1. Tovar sends it towards the gap, right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Second hit of the night for Ezequiel Tovar, and his 5th of the tournament. The leadoff man yet again is aboard for Venezuela. It's the 4th time in 6 innings that the leadoff man has been on base.
Just a great job by Tovar. Ball gets in on him just a little bit, but he stays so inside of it nicely. Shoots it out to right center for another hit, and more action for Venezuela on the bases. They didn't hit an extra base hit, Adam. What is wrong with them? They got a single.
Yeah, we were shocked when we saw one from Japan. This is the first single from Venezuela now, and it's Torres who's got an RBI double tonight with a man aboard and nobody out. Action in the Japanese bullpen again. Now it's Yuki Matsumoto loosening up for the Japanese. There's a strike at the bottom of the zone on the change. Gleyber Torres, who became a leader for A.J. Hinch and the Tigers in their playoff run last season. All-star campaign a year ago for the gritty Tigers. Tovar has a steal in this tournament. Wakatsuki, an excellent defensive catcher behind the plate. There goes the runner. 1-1 pitch, hit and run, and on his way towards third is Tovar. Yoshida will get to it, and it's first and third with nobody out. Action on the base paths for Venezuela, as you might have expected, A.J.
I love it. Tovar can run. A little hit and run piece here by Venezuela. Kind of Japan at their own game. They like to hit and run, they like to bunt. Nice jump by Tovar. Torres hits his ball through the hole. Tovar never even slows down. Yoshida in left field throws it back to second like he should to keep the double play in order. Once again, Venezuela is right back in this game with action on the bases.
Back-to-back singles from Tovar and Torres, and now it's Abreu. Base hit ties the game. Extra bases might give Venezuela the lead. Abreu, who owns a barber shop in Venezuela in his hometown of Maracaibo. Fouls one back. That was the fastball right down the pipe, and that's the one he wanted.
He was trying to hit that one back to Maracaibo.
No kidding.
Wow, he gets a fastball center cut. Maybe trying to do too much, but I like the aggressiveness. Let it eat.
Big moments require big swings. Two balls and a strike. The barbershop is called Activo. Ends up cutting his teammates' hair during the season. A lot of fresh cuts in that Venezuelan dugout. Perhaps Abreu responsible. Not trying to be responsible for tying this game. Instead, he'll give Venezuela the lead. Gone! Perez, a bouncer to third. Grabbed by Okamoto. One away in the sixth. The moment of a lifetime for Wilyer Abreu. He might have sent this to Caracas.
Holy cow. Fastball. Watch this. This isn't even that's a bat throw, by the way. That thing might hit the roof. Look at that. His teammates are ducking for cover. What a moment. This game is awesome. Just when you think one team seizes all the momentum, it completely flips Abreu. I mean, poor Salvador Perez was kind of anticlimactic. Loved the guy, but he hit a ground ball. You're like, wait, what just happened? There's no party happening.
One and one on Churio. Two balls and a strike.
Sometimes I wonder how, I know they have scouting reports, they have video on a lot of these Japanese guys, but like Ito, none of these guys have probably ever faced him in their life, and they're just looking for a good pitch. We mentioned Abreu tried to hit the one out. Well, then he did.
Churio sends this one deep. This one's playable for Yoshida near the warning track. Two down.
And now every ball that leaves the bat of the Venezuelan hitters, the fans think it's going to be one of these. Look at the emotion from the bench. The bat throw. They're like tackling each other to celebrate.
Back to the top for Acuna. He started this game off with fireworks. Abreu's got the latest edition of the bangs and zooms. Upper tank at Lone Depot. Big cut from Acuna on a slider, 0-2. The momentum shifts from one dugout to the other, A pendulum swing in quarterfinal. Nice pitch on a slider. Acuna doesn't like it, but that was a pitcher's strike from Ito. But this time it's Wilyer Abreu's turn, making his World Baseball Classic debut and the biggest swing he may have ever taken in a Venezuelan uniform. Waited all day, a beautiful day in Miami for a 9 p.m. Saturday night part game, part party, part quarterfinal of the World Baseball Classic. And the latest big blast off the bat of the Boston Red Sox, Wilyer Abreu, to make it a 7-5 Venezuela lead. Emmanuel De Jesus continues to work in relief. Will face Murakami to start off this inning, and nothing had won the count on the future Chicago White Sox.
Insanity. You're thinking Yamamoto goes out, gives them 4, they're up 5-2. Here comes the bullpen. In those 2 innings, the bullpen for Japan has given up 5 runs on 2 homers. Just crazy momentum switches in this game already.
First ever meeting at the WBC in international play between these 2 countries. Started their diplomatic relations in the late 1930s. That obviously stopped and slowed down after the bombing of Pearl Harbor in December of 1941. They began their foreign relations again in the late 1990s and into the late 2000s. 1-1 pitch to Murakami. He ropes one towards center, towards Churio. One away. Venezuela, a team that's trying to get to a spot they've only been to once. It's maybe surprising considering the talent of this group. It's only been to the semifinals 1 time in these previous 5 tournaments. Back in 2009, where they lost to South Korea in the semis. What a job by De Jesus in this tournament. Venezuela's got the lead as he comes out, and deeper into the pen they go. Couple of great outings in this tournament by Emmanuel De Jesus. The Detroit Tigers prospect gives up just 1 hit and 1 walk and records 7 massive outs and leaves with the lead intact in the bottom of the 6th for Jose Butto. Deals to Shugo Maki and pours in a strike on the corner. Split last year with the Mets and the Giants. From Cumana, Venezuela, making his first WBC appearance in this tournament. Turn 28 next week. Drops in another one on the edge. Started on the corner and then drifted a little further out to get ahead 0-2.
It's about a perfect pitch right there from Butto.
Is it the changeup? Not there. He's got one of the nastiest changeups in the game. Opponents hit less than 140 against it over the last 2 seasons. Maki has struck out at a changeup tonight. That was back in the 2nd against Suarez. Fastball pushes him back a little bit, 2-2. Looking for a rally here in the 6th, down 2. Slider misses, 3-2. Excellent job by De Jesus. A couple of really strong outings out of the bullpen. In a tournament where relief pitching can determine the outcome on a lot of nights. Bouncing ball to the left side. Garcia. Got a gold glove in his resume. He gets the out. 2 away. MLB Plus, new for this season. Stream MLB Network 24/7 in the U.S. and select out-of-market games every week. Get the live radio calls of every game, game day 3D, big inning, minor league action. It's all available at MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today.
One thing I will say about the Japanese, they've been through this before. They've come back and won games. Was it Mexico a couple years ago?
Yep.
23 in the semis where everyone thought they were dead. Came back, scored late. They just look like they are not panicked. They look so calm when we show shots of them hitting or whatever they're doing.
Got down early against Australia, got down to the middle innings, I should say, against Australia. In this tournament, came back to take a lead and held on. They've had great success. They've made the semis in all 5 previous tournaments. Needing a rally to do that here tonight. Big cut from Genda, and it's 2-1. Shohei back at the top of the order. Wakatsuki is on deck in the 9 spot first. Little slicer towards short and a leaping grab by Tovar. That ends a 1-2-3 inning between De Jesus, who's fired up, and Bouteau. To the late innings we go in the quarters. Saturday night baseball is back. Baseball night in America gets going on opening weekend, March the 28th. It'll be the Yankees and the Giants. If it's Saturday night, it's baseball night in America. It'll be our lead game. This is one of the lead men out of the Japanese bullpen coming into a difficult spot. Down by 2, Atsuki Tanaichi deals a fastball strike. He's got a good fastball. He's a big swing and miss guy in Japan. Trying to get the leadoff man here tonight. 4 of the 6 innings, the Venezuelan leadoff man has been aboard.
And when they've got him on, they've scored him. 4 times the leadoff guy has scored for Venezuela.
1-1 pitch is a little bit low and inside. 2 balls and a strike on Michael Garcia. Let me add one to that. 5 of the 6, as you properly placed, AJ, have reached base to lead off an inning for Venezuela. Garcia's 2-run shot in the 5th made it 5-4 at the time. And the 3-run blow by Abreu gave Venezuela the lead in the 6th.
Michael Garcia already has 1 home run. If Tanaichi lays one in right here, I don't care how hard he throws, he could hit another one.
Hitters count. Oh, there was a fastball a little away from Garcia. It's 3-2.
A little bit away, not the exact one he was looking for. Takes his time out.
Ground ball to short. Genda's there. He retires Garcia. So Tanaichi comes out of the pen and does get the leadoff man for just the 2nd time tonight for Venezuela. 1 away. Now here's Luis Arraez, a rare 0-for so far from Arraez. 0-for-3 tonight with a strikeout.
That's even rarer than the 0-for.
Yep.
And some swing and misses.
Last year hit .292. That's a little bit lower than we have come to expect from Arraez, but still led the National League in hits for the Padres. Signed a 1-year deal with San Francisco, the former Miami Marlin who loved hitting at this park. It's low, 2-0. Right at the top of the list. But when he puts on, as you said, that Venezuelan jersey, the power seems to come out. Had a couple of home runs. That 23 WBC, had a couple against Israel in this WBC. He waits for a 2-0. Down the left field line, foul.
He took his helmet off. You mentioned Wilyer Abreu. The barber, he must have went to work on the back of Luis Arraez's hair. He's got all the lines cut in there. It's awesome.
That was another one away. Arraez playing at first base in this game. That's where he mainly played with the Padres last year. He's expected to slide over to second base again with the San Francisco Giants this year. Ooh, close pitch on a 2-2.
Arraez almost talked the umpire into that. Did you see that? She's like, no, 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 before the ball even left the pitcher's hand.
Payoff delivery to Arraez, and he bounces it to second for Maki. Sidearms it for the 2nd out. So nice work between Ito settling down after the home run. He retired the final 3 of the 6th, and the first 2 of the 7th retired by Tanaichi on a couple of ground ball outs. Now Gino Suarez 0-for-3 today. He'll climb in. Kind of a half-hearted swing, and strike 1. The ultimate vibes man in that Venezuelan clubhouse. A clubhouse full of vibes men, guys who all have fun, who all bring joy to the game. That's been the mantra for Suarez in all of his major league stops. Solo mucha buenas energías. Good vibes only. Good energy only. It's been so fun to watch for all these teams around the world. Not fun to be at the plate right there against Taneichi. A 1-2-3-7. It is stretch time in Miami in a 2-run game. It has been a thriller so far. Still got a long way to go. Welcome back to the 2026 World Baseball Classic on Fox, presented by Capital One. Dominican Republic and the United States will square off in one semifinal tomorrow. What an incredible story. The espresso pushed Italy, fueled by vibes and some highly caffeinated players going to the semifinals for the very first time, making a lot of paisans happy. They await the winner of this one, and it has been fantastic between Venezuela and Japan. It is now one of the top relievers for Venezuela, left-hander Angel Serpa. He's going to face the number 9 hitter Wakatsuki, but then two lefties at the top of the Japanese order are looming in Ohtani and Sato. Wakatsuki takes a big cut at a fastball. He's had a sacrifice and a walk today. Already the 4th appearance in the tournament for Serpa. Pitched in the final 3 games of pool play for Venezuela.
And he's in there for the lefties on the next 2 batters.
Yep.
Whatever happens with Wakatsuki, that's the guy. And Omar Lopez before the game said Serpa's in there. He was the matchup he wanted for Ohtani. They'd love to face him with 1 out, nobody on, so he can't tie the game no matter what happens.
The game changed the last time Ohtani was at the plate in the 4th inning. With 2 on and 1 out against De Jesus, he struck out Ohtani, he struck out Sato, and that started to shift the momentum towards Venezuela. Good pitch, a backdoor slider for called strike 3, and Wakatsuki goes down looking. So it will be nobody on and 1 out for Ohtani.
Huge out in the 7th inning right there with Ohtani and Sato coming up. But what a backdoor slider, Serpa. But they know one thing. Ohtani cannot tie the game right here with 1 swing of the bat.
Lefty on lefty. And a first pitch strike with the slider again. Hard throwing left-hander. Facing the hero of Japan, who took a big cut at that fastball upstairs.
He's saying he hit Salvi's glove. Thinks he might have.
One interference. What he's discussing right now.
I thought it was just a foul tip.
Yeah, that's what we thought up here. Let's see.
I don't think so.
Nothing on the backswing, so let's see here maybe.
Nah, nowhere close. Tony's not used to getting his doors blown off like that at 96 up and in.
So we'll get a review. Saying that he hit it twice.
It doesn't look, from that angle, it doesn't look like Salvi's anywhere close. Unless he hit maybe the strings of his glove, but I don't see a lot there.
Salvi and Shohei talking about it afterwards. 2 of the captains of their groups.
I just don't see it. Salvi's waving. He's giving him the Dikembe Mutombo finger.
No, no, no. He's saying it's a foul ball, right? It should be 0-2.
No, no, no.
He keeps declaring foul ball. Again, the video evidence on a review has to be indisputable.
How about that catcher's gear?
Love that with the Venezuelan flourish with the colors of the country's flag on that chest protector. The helmet with the two-toned, the second color on the bill. No catcher's interference, says Dan Iasonia. There will be 0-2 on Ohtani with one down and the bases empty in the 7th.
Ohtani must have really thought, because he even took his elbow guard off. He was asking for that review.
He's convinced. One last look. Just felt like a foul ball. That's what Perez kept intimating. Ohtani was adamant that it was catcher's interference. Now resizing it up as he steps back into the box. Since the Ohtani strikeout in the 4th, 9 straight retired by Venezuelan pitching. 1-2. First pitch outside.
Good call by Chris Siegel behind the plate. Good pitch, but a better take by Ohtani.
2-2 delivery. Called strike 3. Ten in a row retired by the Venezuelan pitching staff, and it's 0-1 on Sato.
Just a perfect pitch. Ohtani's probably thinking, I'm going to get another slider, and got the same reaction out of the Japanese fans. Oh no.
On the ground to first and foul, and a chance at a 1-2-3 inning for Serpa out of the pen.
And as you look ahead, there's only a couple innings left, only a few outs left. As a former catcher, I started counting the outs. Okay, how long until we'll have to face Ohtani again? And right now, if they get him in order, Ohtani doesn't get up again.
Hard hit ball towards short, grabbed by Tovar. What a job by the Venezuelan bullpen. 11 in a row set down. See our old buddy Tom Brady back on the field for the Fanatics Flag Football Classic on Fox. Star-studded 3-team round-robin tournament featuring some of the best in the game. Will be next Saturday at 4 Eastern only on Fox as we bridge that weekend to the start of the Major League Baseball season. We'll have some fun in the gridiron next week. Taneichi threw a 1-2-3 7th inning, and he's trying to do the same in the 8th. Japan trailing by 2 as we go into the late innings. Their offense has 6 more outs with which to work to try to get back in the game, while Venezuela looks for some insurance, and they'll start it off with their number 5 hitter who's got a pair of hits tonight, and Ezequiel Tovar has played a strong shortstop as well. Cannot say enough about the Venezuelan bullpen, which has completely settled and shut things down since that huge strikeout of Ohtani in the 4th inning. They've retired 11 straight Japanese hitters.
And just complete control. Strikeouts, getting ahead in the count, mixing up the pitches, fooling Ohtani, punching him out twice. One of the question marks about Venezuela coming into this game in this tournament was that bullpen. They're proving us all wrong.
And Tovar's got a 3-hit night working in the quarterfinals. Oh, he's looking for 2. He's getting a big turn. Play at second. He's in. Leadoff double for Venezuela, and Tovar, his 2nd of the night.
Remember earlier in the game when I said Venezuela has to be the next team to score? That's the same thing for Japan right now. The momentum is all on Venezuela's side, and Tovar feels that he's ultra aggressive on the bases, and he makes it to second for a leadoff double to start off the inning for Venezuela.
They've been doing it all night. 6 of the 8 innings they've had the leadoff man on base. And here's Torres, who's got 2 hits tonight as well. Showing a bunt. So that tells you right away how important Omar Lopez feels that runner at second, that run to come home to give it a 3-run cushion. That's how important he feels that run is right now. You got Torres showing
Please
bunt.
tell me how many sacrifice bunts Gleyber Torres has. It can't be very many. He came up with the Cubs, and then he was traded to the Yankees. Now an all-star with the Tigers. I can't imagine he's bunted very many times at the major league level.
Now he'll look to swing. He'll take a pitch down to the dirt.
Maybe he was bunt for a hit. The third baseman is deep, Okamoto.
Seven sacrifices for Torres in his career. Did not have one, though, last season with Detroit. A 1-1. Inside, and it's 2-1.
Tovar's itching to steal third.
Yeah.
He's getting a big lead. The middle infielders for Japan are spread out, trying to keep that run from scoring. Tovar's reading them, hoping to get a good jump, and he'll go if he gets a good jump.
He's been dancing on the base paths all night. And now he got caught in between second and third, but the throw goes into center field. Tovar will come around and make it 8-5 Venezuela.
Pressure. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Pressure is on the Japanese team right now. They feel it. This crowd is going crazy. I mentioned Tovar was going to try and steal third. They had the pick play on the daylight, and he was going, and because of the wild throw, it acted like a single up the middle, and Tovar scores easily. Things you don't see the team from Japan do very often, make mistakes, but pressure. Pressure's crazy, Adam.
Torres, and he swings away, sends it out to right field, back at the wall, and it's caught. Sato got pushed all the way to one of the deepest parts of right field at Lone Depot, and it's a long, loud first out after this key run for Venezuela scores on the Japanese miscue.
Odor, the third base coach, is going, hey, thank you for the single to score our runner. He was in full stride, never slowed down. You see the emotion. Acuna, I kind of think he likes this tournament.
Abreu, it was his shot in the 6th inning that swung it in Venezuela's favor, and they just added a run here, and they are feeling it in the 8th. Watching the younger of the Contreras brothers mess with Acuna. Big cut on a fastball from Abreu, 2-1.
If that ball that Gleyber Torres hit had gone out, the roof might have come off this place.
No kidding. They have not lost since the 2017 semifinals to the United States. 11 straight wins since, including winning the last tournament in 2023. These are the reigning champions that have 3 titles in 5 tournaments under their belt in Japan. With a slew of stars, and perhaps the star of stars at the top of their order, but it's Venezuela applying the heat and the pressure in Miami. So one of our favorite Chicagoans might say, pressure bursts pipes.
Watch this. Oh, no. The best thing Tovar did there was, once he realized he was picked off, he was just not stopping.
Yeah.
He was going to force them to make a play, at least at third, and it would have been close, but because of the wild throw, again, it acted like a base hit up the middle.
Abreu slices one to left. Yoshida trailing back, and he's got it at the warning track. Couple of long, loud outs here in the 8th for Venezuela, which has scored in 5 different innings. And in every one of those innings, the leadoff man got aboard.
Exactly. It's been leadoff runners putting pressure on Japan, and then Venezuela able to get the hit or move the guy over and get him in.
Here's the captain, Perez. Nine times an All-Star. 5 times a Gold Glove winner. a legion of fans over the course of his storied and decorated Major League career, which spans multiple WBC tournaments in his native Venezuelan uniform. There's a strike, 1-1.
Remember at the beginning I said Venezuela gets a lead, this crowd will become a factor. It is a factor.
Yep. It's completely swung to the emotion of the Venezuelan fans. Hard hit towards the Japanese dugout. Watch out down there. Ohtani dancing around him there. He's still motioning. It is impossible not to feel the infectious joy from so many of the countries that have participated in this tournament. Impossible if you're in the building to not feel it.
And again, I'll say this again, Adam. Yes, the WBC World Baseball Classic means a lot to these countries. But right now, Venezuela is smelling a trip to the Olympics. If they win this game, they get to go to the Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028. That is a huge deal for them. Omar Lopez mentioned it. He couldn't stop talking about the Olympics. What about the WBC?
Well, they're hand in hand now with the way it's been discussed. 2028 in Los Angeles. Summer Olympics coming with baseball. Perez goes down swinging. Good fastball from Tanaichi. Japan will be there. The U.S. is hosting. They'll be there. Will Venezuela be in the Olympics? A win will send them there and send them to the semis. 6 more outs to get. Pitch Hit and Run is the free official MLB skills competition for baseball and softball players ages 7 to 14. You can host a local competition this year and give kids a chance to make it to the national finals at the World Series. Visit pitchhitrun.com or scan the QR code. There's the bullpen comparison. That has made the difference seemingly in this game. Now to the 5th Venezuelan reliever as they pitch a shutout behind Suarez, who gave up all 5 Japanese runs. They go to some excellent defense in Jimenez. Multiple gold gloves. He is at second base now behind Andres Machado, as it will be Morishita, Yoshida, and Okamoto, 3, 4, and 5 in Hirokazu Ibata's lineup. 11 straight retired by this Venezuelan bullpen. Morishita's got a home run tonight. It's a big cut, fouls it, and it's 0-2. 32-year-old Machado making his second WBC appearance this year, pitches in Japan, so some familiarity with these guys, as Chris Siegel will do a favor to Morishita at the plate, give him a moment to gather himself. Machado, a former Kansas City Royal in 2017, but it took 4 more years to get back to the big leagues with the Nationals, then signed with Oryx in Japan. It's been a huge part of their bullpen the last couple of years. Actually, they're taking a look at Salvador Perez. May have got the worst of that foul ball.
I don't know. I didn't see anything. I don't know. Maybe got him in the hand or wrist area.
And as in at second base, Perez back behind the plate, catching for his one-time short-lived teammate Machado. Morishita bounces it foul.
And I'll say this again. I said it last inning, Adam. As a catcher, you're watching Salvi back there. You look up at the big screen out there in right center field, and you start counting the outs. You say, if we get 6 straight outs, Ohtani does not hit again. The top of the order does not get up. We can allow 1 base runner and not allow Ohtani to get an at-bat. And that is a key for this Venezuela team. They do not want to face Ohtani again in this game.
He's in the 1 spot, currently at the 3 spot right now.
So you go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. And then you have 9 to play with.
There's one of those 6 remaining outs. Machado throws a changeup to his longtime friend Perez for the first out of the 8th. 12 in a row sent down by the bullpen. pitch swinging Yoshida out to center field, and Chourio is there. Two down in the 8th.
This is all about the jump. Watch the jump he gets. Boom, first step, he's breaking in. He reads it properly. And yes, he dove. He probably didn't need to dive at him, but why not at this point with the crowd going crazy? Why not dive and make it a little more dramatic? I love it. But it was all about the first step from Jackson Chourio out there in center field. Great first step and gets there easily.
Now Okamoto, first pitch swinging, pops it up into right. It is Acuna coming in, and he can't make the catch. A little life for Japan here in the 8th as Okamoto reaches base. Just his 4th hit of the tournament, but it's a big one. There's the tea-stirring celebration from the Japanese dugout. And a big one to give Japan a little life here in the 8th with 4 outs to work with.
Well, he jams them. And a little easy pop-up. I thought Jimenez, Gold Glover, Platinum Glover was going to go get it. Acuna calls him off. He just can't get there, and there's a little life. And again, that gets him 1 hitter closer to Ohtani time.
That's right. That snaps a streak of 13 straight retired for the Japanese offense. Now it is Murakami. It's the first hit since Genda's single back in the 4th inning for Japan.
Stay aggressive if you're Venezuela.
You have the cushion of that 1 base runner, and you have the 3-run cushion as well.
You have a 3-run lead. If Murakami hits a home run, it's okay.
Oh-2. 99 on the gun from Machado. Eight to 5 in the 8th, 2 outs and a 1-2 pitch. First ever meeting between these two countries. A spot in the semifinals, the final spot. The WBC's Final 4 up for grabs tonight. Two-two pitch. Into left field, a base hit. Took a changeup the other way, and Murakami is aboard for the very first time tonight. And the tying run for Japan will come to the plate in the 8th.
Nice piece of hitting by Murakami. They say he's just a slugger. And that changeup down and away, he does a great job of hitting it to left field and keeping this rally going for Japan. And now they have the tying run at the plate.
Murakami, the 2-time Central League MVP, feeling it. Johan Santana, the pitching coach, is out there to discuss again, as it'll be Shugo Maki due up for Japan. Hit a couple of home runs in the 23 WBC. He's averaged 23 home runs a year in his 5 seasons for the Yokohama Bay Stars. One batter can change the complexion of this game, and a first pitch swing out in front of a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. A foul from Maki.
Cheating, cheating, cheating.
Thinking fastball all the way. Maki bounces one to the left side. Tovar on the move. Throw to first in time. To the 9th inning we go in Miami. 8-5 Venezuela. Baseball was introduced to the country of Venezuela in the 1890s by returning students and American petroleum workers. It quickly became the nation's premier sport. They play it with fire. They play it with passion. They play it with energy. They play it with joy and life. And that has carried them through 8 innings. to an 8-5 lead, and they're 3 defensive outs away from a spot in the semis for perhaps a surprising just second time in its WBC history. Italy awaits the winner of this one on Monday night. We'll see the Dominican Republic and the United States tomorrow from here in Miami. And this tells you a lot right now. Yusei Kikuchi would be slated to start the semifinals in a couple of nights, but with Japan facing elimination in this tournament, it will be Hirokazu Ibata, the manager, turning to his excellent left-hander to get 3 crucial outs, starting with the 9-hitter Jackson Churio.
It's an interesting move here for me for Japan. Let's say they do come back and win this game. Then who starts in a couple days for Japan in the semifinal? I guess they have a whole host of guys that could do it, but this is just an interesting play.
Now, you would think maybe you have Sagano, you have Takahashi. Those guys pitch longer outings against Australia and Czechia. But Kikuchi was the guy. He's one of your top pitchers if you're Japan, a guy with a ton of big league experience. And he's in there right now, down by 3 with that high velocity fastball, trying to keep this game exactly where it's at. Japan, because they got 2 base runners aboard in that 8th inning, will have Ohtani come to the plate, batting 3rd for Japan in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, but all that doesn't matter. If he hits with 2 outs and nobody on, doesn't matter. Let him hit a homer.
The ground ball to 3rd, and that slips past Okamoto. A 3-time Golden Glove winner could not make that play on a knuckler towards him. And the leadoff man yet again for a 7th time tonight is aboard for Venezuela.
This is a tough play for Okamoto. He gets kind of caught in between. He wants to charge it, and then he realizes it has topspin, so he's got to back up. And once he backs up, it's too late, especially with the speed of Churio. Defensive miscue, though. Again, they're probably going to give that a hit, but defensive miscue.
He's won it twice at 3rd, once at first base. Okamoto. Acuna takes a cut. He's looking for a potential knockout punch here in the 9th inning. He had the first body blow back in the 1st.
Oh, he got this party started.
We have reached midnight in Miami. (1 p.m. in Tokyo on Sunday. Churio at first, nobody out. There he goes, and it's fouled back.
He had a jump, too.
Sure did.
He had a jump. That's a big jump with his first move. So you're never going to tell Ronald Acuna Jr. not to swing, Adam. Sometimes you'd like to let him steal a base, especially with a jump like that.
Kikuchi eyeing him over at first. And he gets Acuna to swing through a fastball. 1 away here in the 9th inning.
This is a strange swing from Acuna. I don't know if he was looking for something else. I don't know what happened right there. He tried to call timeout, and it was too late.
Here's Michael Garcia. Check over to first. 2 extra base hits for Garcia tonight. A double in the 3rd. He was left stranded. The 2-run home run in the 5th. Part of the momentum swing for Venezuela that got them to within 1 at 5-4. So it was 5-2 before his home run. 6 straight scored by the Venezuelans to take a 3-run lead. Incredible baseball family in La Sabana in the Venezuela. He and the Acuñas were all born in a little fishing village of about 3,000 people on the north central coast of the country. You can't get there from Caracas without an off-road car because of the mountainous roads that you have to drive through. But man, it is a baseball haven in that country. A 1-1. Bouncing ball too short. Grabbed by Genda. Flip to second. Maki will not get a throw off. Churio able to prevent the relay, but there are 2 down here in the 9th. A fielder's choice for Garcia puts him at first base.
Just a high chopper is hit too softly, too high for Japan to turn to. A nice aggressive slide by Churio at second. Nothing wrong with that. Japan is 1 out away from being down 3 with 3 outs to go.
We'll try to finish off this top half of the 9th inning against Arise. 0 for 4 tonight. Another check over at first base, this time on another potential base stealer in Garcia. Ohtani will bat in the bottom of the 9th. Garcia stays. And on the ground to Maki. This time he flips to Genda. And that retires the side. 3 more outs to work with for Japan. Ohtani will bat. 3 outs to get for the Venezuelans to head to the semifinals. Three-run lead, 3 outs to get. And it's one of the heaviest fastballs amongst major league relievers. Chicago Cub Daniel Palencia will step in. 22 saves for Chicago last year, and he's got an impressive mix and a very adamant attitude when he's on the mound.
He will not be afraid. I promise you that. He is going to attack these Japanese hitters. He is going to come right after him, like you said, heavy fastball. Talked to him one time and he said he will give everything for his team. Now, he was talking about the Cubs at the time, but I can only imagine what he will do for Venezuela.
They'll try to get Genda, Wakatsuki, and Ohtani in order. That's who's due up. 8-9-1. First pitch to the shortstop Genda, who's been aboard twice, is upstairs for a ball. In at third, Garcia. There's a strike. There's that heavy 97-mile-an-hour fastball. A half-hearted swing on that high fastball. It's 1-2.
And if you're Japan, you just got to get somebody on base. You got to figure out a way to get the tying run to the plate. You'd love for the first 2 guys to get on for Ohtani, but just get the tying run to the plate.
One, 2. 1 out.
Gas. 100 miles an hour gas. Foul tips it right into Salvi's glove. And there's 1 out. Venezuela is 2 outs away from a big upset in this tournament.
They'll have a pinch hitter at the plate for Japan. It'll be Kensuke Kondo, a 32-year-old, 14-year Japanese baseball veteran. Very high IQ at the plate. More walks than strikeouts in a 14-year career. MVP in the Pacific League a couple of years ago. He is trying to get on base with 1 out. After the 11th Venezuelan strikeout from their staff. 0-1 on Kondo.
Nothing like coming off the bench. No, yeah, here's not 100 after sitting over there for 3 hours.
Another half-hearted swing and a slider that time. It's 1-2. 0 for 12 in the tournament and facing 2 strikes. 2-2. 2 down.
Just gas again. You mentioned it. He doesn't mess around. He is just throwing 100-mile-an-hour heater after 100-mile-an-hour heater and a good pitch. And here it is, Ohtani, their last chance.
Trying to stay alive. Down 3. Foul back by Ohtani. 0-1.
Last time, remember, in this tournament, was Ohtani punching out Mike Trout to win it. Well, here's Ohtani, Japan's last hope today in the quarterfinals.
Valencia's 0-1. Drops down low. Evens the count on Ohtani. His strikeout in the 4th against De Jesus. Well, Japan was up 5-2. Turned this game around. The 1-1. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Ohtani skies it. Venezuela has knocked out the reigning champs. They secure a spot in the Olympics, and they're headed to the WBC semis for the first time in 17 years.
What a game. What a game. All the emotions from both sides. What a way for Venezuela to not only advance in the WBC, but qualify for the Olympics against one of the best teams in the world. We said coming in, their lineup was legit. They proved it tonight.
Their manager, Omar Lopez, in his second stint with Venezuela, a country whose baseball love runs deep. And on a night where Japan took a 3-run lead in the middle innings, this Venezuelan offense put the pedal to the metal. They finished with 3 homers, 4 doubles, and their bullpen, 6 relievers, combined for 6 1/3 of shutout ball, ending with an Ohtani flyout.
That's the story. The bullpen of Venezuela, one of the questions coming into this was how would the Venezuela pitching hold up? Tonight it dominated, especially out of the bullpen, and they move on.
And they took the lead in the 6th with one of the swings of Wilyer Abreu's dreams. He is with our Tom Verducci.
Oh, thanks, Adam. Wilyer, you took a 5-4 deficit and turned it into a 7-5 lead with one swing. A swing they'll be talking about all night in Venezuela and for years to come. Explain to me what it was like running around the bases.
No, that was the exciting moment. I mean, I just tried to at least tie the game with a sac fly. I mean, it gave me a really good pitch to hit. I make a good contact, and you know the ball flies. So I'm very excited for this win, and you know now in the semifinals, I hope I can do the same thing like I did today.
It looked like during that at bat, you got the same pitch, that high fastball, and you fouled it straight back. Did you make an adjustment?
Yeah, of course. When I saw that pitch, I was in my mind like I can miss this pitch two times, you know. So I just try to stay more focused and stay on that pitch and then try to drive the ball.
There's drums and dancing in the dugout. There's a lot of fun on the Venezuelan side. What does this experience and now going to the semifinals mean to you?
No, it means a lot. I mean, I've never been in a place like this. The vibes are very high, so I'm very excited for the semifinals.
More fun to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you, Adam.
Solo mucha buenas energías. The good vibes roll on for Venezuela. They roll on to the semifinals. We'll be back after this to wrap it up. Venezuela 8, Japan 5, and a spot in the semis for just the second time in the history of this tournament belongs to the Venezuelans, and our semifinals are set for the next 2 nights.
It's going to be a crazy couple games. Dominican, U.S., barn burner, Italy, Venezuela, 2 teams people didn't expect to be there, but all 4 of these teams are deserving. I can't wait to see how these plays out. These games are incredible, Adam.
And the atmosphere, electric, matched our game tonight. How privileged we were to watch this incredible first meeting between Venezuela and Japan in a back-and-forth contest, a thriller on a Saturday night in South Beach. For A.J. Pierzynski, Tom Verducci, the wonderful women and men of our Fox Sports crew, Adam Amin saying so long from Miami. Venezuela, an incredible win for its country, knocking out the reigning champion by a final of 8-5. Good night.